Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There we go. Good morning, everyone. All right. Hey, we've got some really great music today. Just some tunes that I know you're all familiar with, but for special music today, it's a real treat. I am not the focus. I just want to say that. I am playing the melody, but I am not the focus. They're John's compositions, and they're really cool. Some jazz tunes. So you want to pay close attention to those. Yeah, we had a lot of fun putting those together this morning. So anyway, John's on bass as well. Carolyn's on drums, and I'm Brent, and I'm on keys. So let's stand up and get some music going today, yeah? We're going to start with Love Is My Decision, and Deb's leading songs today. Welcome her up here. All right, here we go.
Love my decision right here and now. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. You're here to remind me of my magnificence, to help me awake to all the wonder that I am. You long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved. We're here to remind the world we're all magnificent, to help us awake to all the wonder that we are. We long to show the world the joy we're worthy of. We're here to remind the world how much we're truly loved. We're here to remind the world how much we're truly loved.
Good morning. What great opening songs, were they not? Those were perfect. Just perfect. Good morning. My name is Lynn Sager. I'm your platform assistant for the day. Thanks to all the people who make this service possible, all the people, all the teams. We have Script and Hospitality and Bookstore, upstairs, which, after service, we all like to congregate, have some, coffee, and if you want to order Script, that's the time to do so. We have our audio and streaming team, ushers, PowerPoint, youth leaders, and of course, our fabulous music team. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job. If this is your first time here with us, there is a card in the pew pocket. I don't know. There's a card in the front for you to fill out, and after service, hand it to an usher as you leave. They have a small gift for you. And now we have a few announcements that we want to run through before we start service. Today is Judy's continuing her three-part series titled Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. Today's lesson is You Must Be Present to Win. We've heard that before, haven't we? And then I wanted to make sure that other slide was out. This Saturday, we will be holding our planning session. We mentioned this at the town hall meeting, that we've got the planning session called The Road Ahead, What's Next for Unity of Kalamazoo. Absolutely everyone is invited. There will be food and refreshments. Please sign up on the counter. It's out there in the lobby. Be here, coffee will be ready by 9:30, so come at 9:30, say hello, and so we can start at 10. We want to get started at 10, and it will run till 3 o'clock at the latest. The DEI team is continuing its movie series. It will be February 14th at 4:30. It's episode 5 of the 1619 project, entitled Fear. And we also have the DEI team has their first book of our book series that we're going to do this year. It's entitled The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. Everyone is invited to read, and just as a clarification, we're going to meet one time. We're going to meet one time and talk about the book, so you need to read the book, all of it, before then, and we'll meet March 24th after service. I put a sign-up sheet out in the foyer because I want your email address. I'm going to come up with a group of discussion questions for us to consider. So that'll give you some lead time to know. And if you've looked at the book, please don't be intimidated. It's a big one, but it's a good one. And let me just real briefly, some of the book reviews. Isabel Wilkerson has given us a landmark portrait of one of the most significant yet little noted shifts in American history, the migration of African Americans from the Jim Crow South to the cities of the North and West. It is a complicated tale with an infinity of implications for questions of race, power, politics, religion, and class, implications that are unfolding even now. This book will long be remembered and savored. And the quote that grabbed me when you picked this book up probably 3 years ago, if you read only one book about history this year, read this. If you read only one book about African Americans this year, read this. If you read only one book this year, read this. So it's a good one. If you have any other questions, feel free to talk to me, after service. And also on February 15th, we will have another community dinner. We'll be at Jack's Pizza in Ostramo over there on 9th Street. Sign-up sheet. We will congregate at 6 p.m. Reverend Judy's March Sunday messages will be based on Eric Butterworth's classic book, Discover the Power Within You. So you want to get a copy of that, and again, stay tuned for more info on book study groups. And a date to save in the future in March also is Saturday, March 23rd. David Roth will be here in concert at 3 p.m. And as always, you can stay updated on everything that's going on here at church with the easing and on our website. One quick reminder, we don't have a slide for it. There is no choir tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. There is no choir tomorrow night. So it is also the first Sunday of the month. And so if you have a birthday in the month of February, please stand, and we are going to sing happy birthday to our, February folks. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And now, as we start to prepare for service, let's remind ourselves of who we are and why we are here at Unity. So together, our mission statement: as an all-inclusive community, we awaken to spirit, grow into our souls, and build a better world. And our vision statement: we celebrate a world of ever-awakening consciousness, abundance, peace, and love for all. And our core values of love, authenticity, stewardship, oneness, and playfulness. And our land and labor acknowledgement: our spiritual community acknowledges Black, Indigenous, and people of color whose lands and labor were forcibly taken. We pledge to promote understanding, equity, justice, and inclusivity. And for all children here, at home, in the world, let's offer them all a blessing. As you go your way, know that you are loved, special, and important to us.
When I'm quiet in prayer, I know only peace. Hallelujah. When I'm quiet in prayer, I open my heart. I open my heart. When I'm quiet in prayer, I open my heart. Hallelujah.
Say something. Say something.
Say something.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There you go.
All right. So, the word for today is joy. Throughout my life, joy is always part of me. Like the sun that is always shining, even when obscured by the clouds, joy is there in my happiest moments and also during my darker times. It keeps me present to life as it unfolds, responsive, adaptive, and accepting. Accepting what I cannot change and having the courage to change what I can. Much more than a feeling, joy is part of me, a way to feel the presence of God and live from my spirituality. Joy is the anchor that keeps me rooted in peace and wholeness, and the wings that help me soar through the open skies of imagination and choice. My spiritual identity has its foundation in the divine idea of joy, and I carry it with me wherever I go, in everything I do. And from Psalm 16, verse 11, you show me the path of life. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. And so again, we take this time, we take these few moments in prayer to open our hearts, to recognize and connect with and become anchored in spirituality, which is the truth of our being. We are indeed spiritual beings having a human experience. And while we've seen an awful lot of clouds lately and an awful lot of rain, we never stopped believing that the sun was up there shining. And this morning, here it is. To warm the earth, to warm our face when we turn toward it, and to remind us that even in clouds and rain and dark times, the presence of the divine is always with us. We are forever connected to the Divine One, to the Creator. We are forever one with the heartbeat of the universe. And as we allow ourselves to simply sink into this truth, to be embraced by it, to be surrounded by it, to be warmed by it, we feel the joy of that connection. We feel the joy of oneness. And we remind ourselves to bring that joy with us wherever we go, whatever we do. To turn inward and find it and connect with it throughout the day. In moments when we need support, in moments when we need to simply pause and step away from whatever is occurring in the moment. In those times when we need to celebrate and feel gratitude and joy and share our love with the world. In each and every one of these moments and times, it is always our choice to simply pause, connect with that feeling of joy, and to know the peace of our true nature, our divinity, our wholeness, our light and energy, and the wisdom we bring to the world when we are operating from that center. This is our joy, and it is ours through all of the seasons of life. And so I invite you now into a few moments of silence. To contemplate the sunshine, to contemplate its warmth, and to simply feel that joy that is with us always. I invite you to bring your attention and focus back to this space. And as we bring this time of prayer and reflection to a close, I want to invite you to share the affirmation that goes with today's daily word. And that affirmation is, joy is mine through all the seasons of life. I'll say that once more and then invite you to join me the third time through. Joy is mine through all the seasons of life. Together, joy is mine through all the seasons of life. And for this and so much more, we say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen.
Say about this next tune, but we only have a half hour. So this is kind of I've been wanting to write some jazz stuff for a long time because I had grown up playing it, and then when I came down here, I just didn't do a lot of it. And came on the whole concept of the album I'm working towards is that when people say it takes a village, we always talk about the people involved in there, but we never talk about the village itself. Because the concrete and the asphalt, I think, play a lot of roles in that. So this song is called Slow Dance on 36, and it is kind of a nod to a younger high school John taking the stretch between Mason and Dansville.
can we take just a moment to just kind of like, whoa, for all of the talent that is sitting right up here with us? Wow. Each and every one of them is a star. And we are so blessed to be in their firmament. Aha! There you go. So good morning again. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy February to everybody, right? Whew, we're getting there. So as Lynn mentioned, we are working through a short series that I was calling, and am calling, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. So last week we followed some of the song lyrics that our vocal group, our choir, shared with us. We followed those lyrics into a conversation about how the yes in yesterday led us to where we are today. All of our yesterdays have brought us to this moment. And all of the actions that we take here in these present moments will shape our future for years to come. So, in thinking about different ways to approach the concept of today, and then how to frame our lesson for today, what came to me is this phrase that we often see printed on raffle tickets: you must be present to win. And there it is. Boom, right? We've all seen that before. Now, the tagline that I've added up there to the image of the raffle ticket is the title of a great little book by Jane Simmons that's called You Can't Sleep Through Your Awakening. So, for me, the word present is virtually synonymous with the word awake. And when I hear the word awakening, it always makes me think of an evolving or an expanding consciousness. So that brings me to the first concept that I want to explore with you today, and that is the whole idea of consciousness. So consciousness is defined as the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Now, we've all seen those dramatic moments in the movies or the TV show where someone who's been in a coma awakes, and all of a sudden they are aware and awake of their surroundings. They've come back to us. Consciousness, as we talk about it here and discuss it in spiritual terms, is literally a virtual galaxy of ideas. But at its most basic level, consciousness begins with the idea of being awake and aware. So, our individual consciousness is composed of ideas, thoughts, emotions, sensations, knowledge. It begins with input from our five senses. But as our consciousness expands, we become less and less focused on this sensory input that we are always taking in, and increasingly tuned into a world of ideas and concepts and beliefs. So I think that we probably spend most of our day thinking about that kind of stuff versus being aware of, oh, I'm cold. Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, that smells good. What's for dinner? Right? There's a whole lot of busyness in our heads that's way beyond that sensory data. So it's from this point of expanded consciousness that includes feeling and thinking and believing, as well as the totality of our sensory input, that we conclude or make the statement that life is consciousness. That's what's going on up here. Life is consciousness, and it's awareness of this and what's happening out in the world. So we've got this idea that life is consciousness, and I want to just take that and set it aside for a second, and then shift our focus over to the idea of the concept of life itself. Let's consider for just a moment what makes up the living world. So everything material or physical in the world is made up of atoms, right? Atoms vibrating at different frequencies, including us. We're just a big old walking mess of atoms, right? Tapping on other masses of atoms, all vibrating at different frequencies. So, life is also energy, right? Charles Fillmore said that all creation on the physical plane is based on life activity or rates of vibration. Think about that. Everything that you can see in this room, including all of the people, the piano, the music stands, the candle, it's all atoms vibrating at different rates. It's all energy. He goes on to say that lower vibration rates are associated with objects and things, and a higher rate of vibration creates a universe where spiritual ideas prevail. Okay, so spirituality is at these higher vibrations of our ideas and thinking. And we know that ideas have energetic vibrations associated with them, and that our brain waves and our heart waves respond differently to positive thoughts than they do to negative thoughts. Remember, we talked about that last week, those variations and the power of the heart's electromagnetic field. So, if we don't pay attention to what we're giving our attention to, when we fail to notice what we're noticing, we kind of fall into this trance, which is based on lower vibrations. We tend to get real focused on material things. We find ourselves engaged in habitual thinking. How we are acting and how we are showing up is not based on growing and stretching and developing and expanding our consciousness. When we're in that kind of a trance where we're not dialed in, how we show up is typically based on past reactions to similar situations. Hence that feeling of being stuck that we feel sometimes, that Groundhog Day kind of experience. It's like, wait a minute, didn't we just have this conversation? Right? Okay. So in this trance kind of space, we're out of touch with expanded consciousness. We stop hearing the small, still voice inside of us that guides us and supports us through the tough times. We stop hearing that small, still voice, and the only thing we hear is this voice inside our head that thinks it's us, right? And it's the voice that never shuts up, right? You've heard this monkey mind, chatter, whatever. It's all the same stuff, right? And I love this notion from Eckhart Tolle. He said, he calls this voice in your head The voice that pretends to be you. It pretends to be you, right? Because it's projecting this stuff out all the time. It's making this image. It's, it's like, I feel this, I think this, right? I believe this. Oh, you did that wrong, right? It's just there like this ringmaster shouting out all the time. And when you realize that there is this voice up there that thinks it's you, when you realize that it's there and when you realize what it's doing, you are awakening out of that unconscious identification, that trance-like state that is induced by these lower vibrations. So we have to pay attention to what we're giving our attention to. We have to notice what we're noticing. So let's take a moment to just kind of recap that, all right? So all life on the planet, and in fact all life in the universe, is energy. Our individual life exists as our conscious awareness of all of these energetic vibrations. Increased awareness and deeper awakenings expand our consciousness and raise the vibration levels in our life. And so, if you desire a life that is filled with joy, filled with wholeness, filled with abundant blessings and love, guess what? You must be awake and aware. You cannot sleep through your awakening. You must be present to win. Individually, we use our spiritual practices like prayer and meditation to support and to sustain our awakening. Collectively, we've come here together to support each other on this journey. As a spiritual community, our vision is to co-create a world that is awakened to and transformed by spiritual truth. And in addition to supporting and sustaining our own spiritual practices, we can also raise and increase our energetic vibration, expand our consciousness by increasing our knowledge and understanding of the world around us. So it's not enough to just simply contemplate and be aware of spiritual truth. First and foremost, that's what we need to pay attention to. But it needs to function in a context, right? This is the world we have to live in. And if we don't understand the world we live in, it's that much more difficult to discern how best to shift our consciousness, how best to expand our consciousness, how, where, and when to increase the level of vibration. So, understanding and knowing about the world around us. February. February is Black History Month. It's a time to celebrate the vast contributions of Black Americans to our country, and more importantly, to recognize that Black history is American history, right? Black history is American history. Now, many of you are aware, because I've shared this here before. 2 years ago, I experienced a profound moment of awareness and awakening for myself in an online workshop that I was attending. It was on Zoom, about 30 people. So after reviewing the schedule and the agenda, the facilitators opened the official program by reading aloud and sharing on our screens something that they called a land and labor acknowledgement. The actions it described and the true impact of those actions shocked me out of a trance that I had been in and into a state of rather painful awareness. Now, you know we have our own land and labor acknowledgement, and we acknowledge that lands were taken and labor was taken from people without any real compensation for that. And I don't know why I didn't get that before. But all of a sudden it became very, very clear to me. It's like, oh my God. Pretty much everything that's here, everything that we've done, was based on some not good stuff. That was for me, okay? That was my awakening. So even though I've made like dozens of trips around the sun and earned a master's degree along the way, I naively associated the word colonialism with, pilgrims and pumpkins and the generous sharing of the harvest between the colonists and Native Americans. And in reality, colonialism is the policy or practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country, occupying it with settlers, and exploiting it economically. Millions of acres of land were forcibly taken from Native Americans, and millions died in the process. The ship that brought the first enslaved Africans to this country landed in Virginia in August of 1619, a full year before the Pilgrims from England found the Massachusetts coast in November and officially landed in Plymouth in December of 1620. I didn't know that. The legacy of slavery did not end with the Emancipation Proclamation. Sharecropping replaced enslavement. Thousands of Jim Crow laws adopted at every level of government made the world smaller, narrower, and more confined for blacks. From 1889, which is about 20-some years after the Civil War came to an end, from 1889 to 1929, a black person was hanged or burned alive every 4 days. I know that now because I'm reading The Warmth of Other Suns. I'm reading this fabulous book by Isabel Wilkerson. So, these laws that came into play, and the cruelty and the hatred that they codified, effectively built a wall between blacks and whites in this country. And that wall is coming down brick by brick. But the progress is painfully slow. And as I've learned in another workshop that I participated in here recently, the work is generational. And it makes my heart feel sad to know that it's going to take a good while to complete the work. But we are awake and aware to the fact that the work is necessary, the work is started, the work is being done. And we have to have faith that the work will continue for as long as it needs to continue. So why is this important? Why should we care about this? I want you to imagine this, if you will, okay? Let's say you have a nice hot cup of coffee or tea. It's right there on the table next to your favorite chair. And you're just settling in to start reading that new book that you got as a Christmas present. So you open the book and you start to read. And when you turn the page, it's blank. You start flipping through the book, and there's blank pages everywhere. And in some cases, there are entire chapters that are missing from the book. What I am awakened to and aware of and beginning to understand is that the history books that I studied in school had a lot of blank pages and entire chapters that were missing. Now, I am a reasonably intelligent person, and I am frustrated to be so ignorant about much of the real history of our country. I suspect that some of you probably feel the same way. Black history is American history. It wasn't taught to me that way, but I am committed to relearning it that way. Every day is a brand new opportunity to wake up and deepen my awareness, to learn something about the history of people of color, and to honor their experiences and contributions. And I am inviting you to join me. I'm inviting you to read the book that our DEI team has chosen for the first quarter. And if you don't have the time or the energy to read the book, our DEI team hosts a film and a follow-up conversation once every month. We're going to be hosting quarterly discussion groups for the books that they're recommending. Our first one is March 24th, based on the book that Lynn shared with you this morning. There are plenty of historical facts that are woven into the stories in this book that follows three main characters. But I promise you, it reads like a novel, not like a textbook. If reading is not your thing, well, Celebration Cinema is hosting Ava DuVernay's movie Origin, which is based on her best-selling book, based on the best-selling book Caste, which was also written by Isabel Wilkerson. Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent, and again, by the same author that we're reading right now. If you Google Black History Month in Kalamazoo, you're going to find dozens of websites and dozens of choices for things to do and participate in. And I say this and remind us all of this, because how we care for each other and how we care for the world that we live in, it's certainly a result of individual choices and efforts, but it's also the result of our collective consciousness. As a congregation, we're moving out of a congregation, a spiritual community. We're moving out of a time of transition and into a time of renewed focus. So I'm inviting you to come with me during this month of February to learn some of the history that we were not taught, to acknowledge that Black history is American history, and to open our hearts and minds to the stories and the experiences that are different from our own, but no less valuable and important. I appreciate your attention today. God bless you. Have an amazing week in which you are awake, aware, and present to win. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Judy, for the reminder. Hello, I'm Deb Embrock, a member of your board. And if you would please join me in our February board affirmation. Open to infinite love, I practice peace. And as the ushers come forward, if you would join me in our offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
Nice. That was nice. Kind of forgot I had to come back up here. I was like, okay. We have our monthly tithes that I need to add. Since it's the beginning of the month, since we are a tithing church, we tithe to GLERC, Unity Worldwide Ministries, this month Ministry of with Community, and ourselves. So, thank you. And so let us pray. Loving Spirit, we are grateful for the many blessings and gifts that we experience in our daily lives. As a church community, we are thankful for the offerings received today and throughout the week. And we affirm that these will be used for our highest good here at Unity. We'll continue our prayers for all people facing challenges, not only here in our community, but throughout the world, including those in Gaza, Israel, and Ukraine, and anybody else who's just trying to survive another day. So let's continue to imagine and see a world in peace. May we all be comforted by the vision and by the Christ-like spirit within our hearts. Amen. And now, let's all stand for the prayer for protection. I think that song just threw me off
Threw you
there.
off a little.
So I invite you to stand, join me for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now we'll close with the peace song. If you're comfortable, you may hold hands with your neighbor or place your hand on your heart.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.